What's going on, guys? It's Salvaje and I'm back at it again with another Boruto episode review. And in this Boruto episode review, I'm going to be reviewing episode 80 and episode 81. And long story short, guys, from now on, I will not review a Boruto episode if there isn't a lot to talk about and a lot to discuss with you guys when it comes down to an actual episode review. Which is why in this Boruto episode review, I'm reviewing episode 80 and 81. If we get an episode that doesn't really have a lot of action, that doesn't really have a lot of progression when it comes down to the story and the characters, or if we get an episode that just feels fillery in general, I'm going to hold off my episode review on that current episode and I'm going to review it the next week when the next episode shows up. So, just in case you guys didn't get that, here's what I'm trying to say. Episode 80 was trash, so I decided instead of reviewing episode 80, I'm going to be reviewing episode 80 and episode 81 because there really isn't a lot to talk about when it comes down to episode 80. Hopefully you guys understand. With that said, let's get right into it. So, here's my quick Boruto episode 80 review. Like I said, there really isn't anything to talk about when it comes down to episode 80. The only thing actually astounding, I guess you could say, that happened in episode 80 is when Mitsuki basically gains this dude's trust, the one that can do the detonating clay jutsu. I really have no idea what his name is. But yeah, that's something that caught my attention during episode 80. The detonating clay guy basically knew that Mitsuki was basically playing tricks on them, but he basically thought that, Mitsuki was actually going to betray them, when the reality is Mitsuki is actually genuinely interested in sort of finding out, I guess you could say, where his creation comes from and all of that stuff, which is honestly something, in my opinion, that I feel like they have handled pretty well when it comes down to this arc. And I'm really glad that, we got to see that on episode 80. But honestly, I felt like the entire episode 80 could have easily been summarized in 5 minutes. Lastly, something that captured my attention in episode 80 as well is how Oniki apparently seemed to be sort of like injured. And in episode 81 at the end, Boruto specifically points out, hey, listen, we're going to go find Oniki and we're going to ask him for help. And as he said that, I was like, holy shit, Boruto doesn't know that Oniki is sort of like in a grave state. But long story short, in the episode preview for episode 82, we actually see that Oniki is actually just fine and he's sort of quote-unquote back on his heels. But anyways, I was actually really surprised that Kurotsuchi wasn't able to handle herself against Lord Ku's thugs and Lord Ku. Maybe she just got caught off guard by who Lord Ku actually is, and hopefully we can learn a little bit more about him in the upcoming episodes. But yeah, I just don't understand how Kurotsuchi was able to handle herself against Momoshiki and she just can't handle herself against a couple of thugs. You guys know what I mean? Anyways, it's no big deal. It's just the way the anime is supposed to be. So I give him a pass on that. Now let's talk about episode 81. So Mitsuki basically betrays Boruto, and the whole episode 81 is basically just Boruto being in this sort of a mental state, in this mental genjutsu, I guess you could say, that Garaga basically placed him on. And apparently Boruto is like trying to learn a lesson, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't really catch what the lesson was about. I mean, in my opinion, like what I catch was like, okay, Boruto, you gotta stop being a little bitch, alright? Like, Mitsuki just betrayed you, get over it, move on, learn from it, and see what you're gonna do next, alright? But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I feel like that's basically the lesson that Boruto learned, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below, what was Boruto's realization in that Garaga's inner world or genjutsu thingy or whatever. Anyways, another thing that of course caught my attention in episode 81 was Inojin basically finding out that a childlike Akuta, I don't really know how they're going to handle that character, specifically since, I don't know, I just felt like they should have just sent Inojin back to the Hidden Leaf Village with that Akuta. It just makes no sense that Inojin should just go along with them, Anyways, the point is, the Akuta and Inojin sort of like made the episode sort of like a little bit better, but it still doesn't change the fact that episode 80 and episode 81 could have easily been done in 10 minutes. Like both of those episodes, I could have easily done them in like 10 minutes if I was a Boruto writer. But again, they're trying to slow things down, so maybe they can like catch up with the manga, or maybe this is part of the manga. As you guys know, I don't want any manga spoilers in the comment sections. I've said that a couple of times. But if you do read the Boruto manga, please let me know in the comment sections below if this current arc that we're seeing right now in Boruto if it is part of the Boruto manga. Last but not least, my comments on episode 81 and 80, really trash episodes. All right, I'm not really happy with how, you know, these two episodes are handled, because I feel like the arc, like this current arc that we're facing right now, is just going by extremely slow. Like when the arc first started out, it went by very quickly. Like the pacing of the arc was great. You know, they went to Ryuchi Cave, they basically fought Garaga. You know, they basically started like hunting down Mitsuki, and you know, they were able to catch up to the bad guys and stuff. But now the arc sort of like slowed down. Like we got 2 episodes that were basically fillers, and I'm 100% sure that on episode 82 nothing big is actually going to happen. And for the big fight to happen, it's probably going to most likely happen in either episode 83, like at the second half of 83, and probably we're going to see a good big boss fight on maybe episode 84. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's and last week's Boruto episode review, and if you did, of course, feel free to drop a like and subscribe for more content. See you guys in the next one. Peace.